Oremi, today I want to talk about what I call the shame of the Yoruba alatenujets when government patronage makes it impossible to speak the truth to power. Oremi, Yoruba elders will say, Ti enu ba ti je, oju a ti. Meaning, when the mouth has eaten from corruption, your eyes can no longer see or say the truth about that corruption. And that is what we are witnessing in Nigeria of today, and I'm very upset about it. Alright? Something very, very upsetting and disgusting happened to me yesterday that left me both angry and deeply saddened. In fact, I had to go to bed early to sleep on it before talking about it publicly today. Kilo Shele, an old friend of mine who is one of the biggest confidants of Governor Sanwo-Olu today and an APC bigwig, called me after more than 4 years of no contact, where he even refused to pick up his phones when old friends called him just to say hello. Once he got to the proximity to power, he got arrogant. The guy that we used to send to go and buy cars for us in those days is now so big, he's stressed around like he was the one sending us on errands when we were all hustling back in the days. Though he was not elected to anything, but he started behaving like many Nigerians who got close to power and everyone just left him alone when the minute he became the biggest confidant of our governor. We left him. Then yesterday, this clown called me directly on my phone from the blue, not to discuss the substance of the concerns I had expressed in my last mayor of Iran about the heartbreaking kidnapping of kids and teachers that is happening in Nigeria. No, he called me. He did not call me to wish me well about my daughter's graduation or to talk about anything friends do. He did not even call to debate the facts as discussed in my Nigerian rant over what I call the prisoners of terror. That rant of yesterday, if you listen to that. He did not call me to challenge my reasoning in that broadcast. No. This guy called me to cuss me out about the rant on how terror is holding Nigerians hostage and how terror is preventing us from asking tough questions of our government and of ourselves even as citizens. That's what I talked about in my rant. It's still out there for people to read. My rant yesterday only sought to go behind the pain and the horror and force us to ask our government uncomfortable questions about those who are behind the constant terror that has now entered the southwest of Nigeria. And I talked about why government appeared powerless against bandits who look like janjaweed, and why government is focused on re-election instead of cleaning up the horror that make us look like Neanderthals in Nigeria as a nation, watching beheading of human beings daily. He called me. So why is this my highly praised friend so upset at me? When he got on the phone, he was just yelling at me, calling me names. Now, I still won't mention his name at this time. And I'm double daring him to respond to this video today. You know yourself. Because I already reported him to our mutual friends on several WhatsApp groups that they should talk to him. Because I'm about to make him the centerpiece of an example of what happened to good men who have gone bad under this government. I told my friends to call him to order before I make him my mission as an example of a good man that has gone bad because of Atenuje. This boy, my colleague, who was born to a much respected old school Yoruba Omoluabi parent that I know very well. His father was a man with old school sense of honor. But he himself has now become an Alatenuje guy. He's not an ordinary citizen, so I'm so upset. I knew from the time we were all so young. He's a full-blown Ikoyi boy now. And one of those privileged insiders who now whine and dine close to power, especially in Lagos APC and Governor Sanwo-Olu's inner circle. and is someone who has benefited immensely from the political establishment in the last 6 years. So he has forgotten himself. He's a billionaire now. And of course, I congratulate him before they say I'm jealous of him. He lives in Banana Island now, mostly as a result of his insider status with the APC and Sanwo-Olu government. I'm saying it specifically so that he knows I'm talking about him. But he has completely forgotten where he was coming from. His anger at me was not that innocent Nigerians are being kidnapped. His anger was not that school children have been abducted and in the bush, small kids in the bush, and government is not doing anything about it. His anger was not that entire communities now live in fear in Ogbomoso and other areas, in the North Plateau and everywhere. His anger was not that citizens can no longer travel freely in many parts of their own country. In a country we used to travel from Lagos to Kaduna on the roads without any problem when we were younger. When he was younger like me. What was his anger? His anger was I dared to talk about it, and his anger was that I was asking his APC government and other leaders, not even in APCO, because I mentioned Peter Obi too, I mentioned Atiku in my rant. His anger was, I mentioned it, because his anger was I was asking tough questions. And he called me. And he was just floating at the mouth that, how dare me talk against our president? How dare me? And like, I was so stunned I couldn't even talk. Can you imagine me not being able to talk for 2 minutes? As this man rained abuses on me. Think about that for a minute. 46 children, teachers, abducted. Some have been killed. Some kidnappees have been beheaded recently. Children, we don't even know where is children. We don't know where they are right now. Families are terrified. Parents cannot sleep. Communities are traumatized. And the thing that upsets some members of our elite class, especially some of my Yoruba brothers, is not the kidnapping itself. Because the clowns are busy sharing videos, intelligent elites, sharing videos of kidnapping in America also, and telling us that kidnapping is happening in America. Why am I shouting? What is really upsetting to me, and I'm getting there, is that somebody is talking about the kidnapping of kids, and some of us are putting the big blame on Tinubu's doorstep, since at the end of the day, he's still our president, and people think that we are talking more than our mouth should be able to take. And they are calling to intimidate, to harass us, because we are calling out President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Who will I call now? Is it Peter Obi? Who will I call? Is it Atiku? The buck stops with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Yoruba or no Yoruba, and is the one who boldly declared Emilokan. He said it boldly, and then he snatched and grabbed and ran away with the election in 2023. So now that our nation is in a mess, Yoruba or no Yoruba, I and many others hold him accountable, and we will keep demanding answers from him. Tinubu is the Olori Oko, and if the Oko is burning, he must explain and he must find solutions. But this my former friend, I call him a former friend, I don't befriend people like that anymore. This my former friend feels that was too much to come out of my mouth because I'm one of the same ethnic tribe as the president. It will be different if he's even arguing my facts. We can disagree. We disagree a lot. But don't tell me I shouldn't be talking about that because our Yoruba and She Yoruba, the stupid word that came out of your mouth. It was so disgusting on the phone. I lost my ability to speak and respond for like 2 minutes because it came from left field. Me, we expect at all. It just rained bad on me before I finally saw that Abiba Yawiri. That, my friend, is how civilians begin to decay. The most heart-wrenching part of all of this is that this is a man born from a solid Yoruba family. I know him very well. We were close. I know his father. His father is like a father to me too. His father is a quintessential Yoruba Moluabi who used to advise us in those days in Bagada about the virtues of being honorable, being bold, and not allowing our access to wealth or powerful people to silence our basic decency as a human being. I remember that man very well when he was advising in the time of Abacha. His father was a strict disciplinarian, very proud Yoruba man, and a Awolowo loyalist to his death. God bless daddy. Now I find it tragic that his own son is getting upset that someone is speaking against madness and government inefficiencies in our nation, simply because he is one of the right-hand men of the governor and because he's enjoying patronage and is now a big shot in APC. Gbagbe. Oh my show. Oh my show, Remy. He actually called me a bastard and said I'm one of those diaspora idiots. That's his word. One of those diaspora idiots who use left hands to describe their father's house, because we talk about insecurity and about kidnapping in our nation, even though we live abroad. Etekoko forget that I'm actually a lefty. I'm more likely, if I want to point out my father's house in Ijebu Mushi, I probably would have used a left hand before I remember. But I'm a Yoruba man, and I understand 100% what this Allah Tenuje boy was talking about when he said I was a diaspora using left hand to point out my daddy's house. And I don't think it's funny at all. I'm so upset now, it's not even funny. I'm only helping you by not mentioning your name yet, but I will. I dare you to respond to this. It is a sad day in the country, and especially in Yoruba land, when speaking about evil becomes offensive, or becomes more offensive than the evil itself, just because those in power are our brothers and sisters. That's what I want to talk about more today, because the thing, they paid me. This, my friend, like I said, is a former friend. He offered the same familiar retarded argument of useless leadership that we have in our nation. He said, after all, kidnappings are happening in America too. Why am I not ranting about that? That I should leave us alone in Nigeria and stop talking rubbish. And then the man sent me a video clip of some kidnapping in US to buttress his point. That while we talk about the kidnapping in Nigeria, kidnapping is everywhere. Lori Buruku. That's what he said to me on the phone. Erotieba. And he seemed to have this fake sense of outrage. Because Orieti Daru, Olodo. Of course, kidnappings happen in America. Murders happen in America every day. Robberies happen in America every day. Political corruption happens in America every day. That's a fact. Every society has crime. But go and compare how citizens and leaders react when they happen. That is the major difference. The problem is not that there was kidnapping. It's the reaction. I can never imagine a senator or top leader in the USA government getting upset because people are upset that people are being kidnapped and killed in America. He will lose his position immediately. In Nigeria, our own leaders, they shrug it off. A human being was beheaded live. They shrug it off and they continue campaigning for election. Our own leaders will issue press releases and do a most wanted manhunt for a young man who posted a fake audio of the president, but the same government will remain mute about the beheading of their own citizens. The thing is mind-boggling. And when you talk about the Alatenujes in government, who can't see beyond the political patronage they enjoy, they will say, your mouth is smelling. They can't talk to the man, and want it now, so you want that. This is why I don't go to my friends in government to ask for any favor. And yes, I know governors, I know ministers, I know commissioners, and I know lots of parastatals very intimately. Some of them are my very, very close friends see today. But I never go to any of them to ask for favor. And I'm daring any of them to contradict me and call me out that I was lying. I've never done it. Because I knew days like this will come. And I want to be free to say my piece. I want to be free to be able to call stuff the way they are, without fear or favor, because if you have been enjoying patronage of incompetent people, when problems come, you cannot speak out. And I don't want to put myself in that. Thank God, God is helping me with the little I can make to feed myself and my family. So frankly, I have been stunned by the saga of the Yoruba Alatenujes under this Tinubu administration. Those are the ones I'm addressing today. I've been stunned to see guys that I once stood shoulder to shoulder with to condemn and fight against Jonathan and Buhari over some of the things that happen in their governments, and of which worse is happening today. Those same people all of a sudden are justifying this madness they spent energy fighting against years ago. Now all of a sudden, they want us to let Tinubu be. Even though we organized protests against Buhari, we organized protests against Jonathan. Now that it's Tinubu's turn, because it's our Yoruba man, we should all keep quiet, and then they want to make it like it's a tribal thing. You know, the Hausas and the Igbos. The Hausas want power. The Hausas are upset because they are not in power. The truth of the matter is that the South has been in power more than the North. Go and count the number of years. The South has been in government more than the Northerners in this Nigeria since 1999. So why are you accusing the Hausas that they are just, it's political power they want? They are just crazy because they don't have political power. We have it more than them, Eloka, from the time of Obasanjo to today. Southerners have had more time in government. But they will try to confuse the issues and say, Madam Hausa alone, they are just talking. They are the ones organizing this. If they are the ones organizing this, let Mr. President go and crush them. Shebi, Obasanjo, Mbatawara, Igbo, when they refuse to hear word and they kill soldiers in Odi, he raised down Odi and the war did not end. Why is Mr. President not going to go raise down all those places where those terrorists are? You know where they are. You said the politicians know where they are. We have a former president saying some of them are in my cabinet. We have the vice president of the nation that a lot of people are accusing that must know more than this, must know some things about this stuff. I don't care. Whoever is doing it, let Mr. President step up and be Mr. President. He is so committed to this second term that he cannot see anything else. Meanwhile, the nation is mourning. And this is worse among Yoruba people. Condoning this rubbish is totally alien to us. Our Yoruba, we are not like this. But now, this last 2 years is showing me a face of Yorubas that is scaring me. Now I see a much idolized Yoruba figure that I grew up idolizing, and someone that everybody knows globally hates injustice so much, he founded a cult of students to fight against injustice. A man that is so angry about election rigging that he allegedly took a gun to a police station to force declaration of true results. That same man has now turned around to call the youths that he inspired in a career of over 70 years, the people that he inspired to fight against injustice, he called them children of anger in the most derisive and in the most disgusting way. This man of letters, a Yoruba man, used his talent for words to demonize these kids and try to take away their righteous anger. He tried to take away their will and purpose for fighting by using his famous pen to demoralize them just because his friend, a Yoruba man, is now the one in power. It's so sad. I'm still very sad about that. And I will not stop talking about it. And this man collected national titles from people he wouldn't even stay in the same room with 40 years ago because of his sense of justice. This man rejected national award from the president from the South. But now he embraces the one that is in government because it's from Yoruba land. And when he was going to explain how he came to admire the current president, that he was telling us how generous the president and his wife was, because the man bought him plates and pots and pans for his flat when he was moving houses. I thought that was a very disgusting reason to ignore the feelings of the man as a president just because he's a Yoruba man. Now, I have my own former friend from the same area foaming at the mouth at me because I dare to hold our own Yoruba president accountable for kidnappings and the beheadings in the land. After all, Ounlokan. So it cannot be Ounlokan only to go and sit in the presidency and be traveling with our money to go and be doing medical treatment abroad. But when it comes to taking care of business, when our people are kidnapped, all of a sudden it's Hausa people you want to blame. So what's going on with some of my Yoruba elites? To be clear, I don't have a problem in anybody supporting Tinubu. That's your right. And Tinubu is a strong candidate anyway when all is said and done. I'm not going to take that away from him. But why will you lose your sense of outrage over some things happening under him just because he's our brother?